So in today's video, we're going to be teaching you guys how to go and make coins at the beginning of FC25. So between now and the 6th of October, I'm going to be uploading a daily free eafc25 trading guide. This will include everything to do on the web app to make as many coins as possible with both trading and investing. I'll be talking about the full release, what we expect to see regarding the market, and there'll also be a daily updated investing guide, all in there, updated every day for free. No gimmicks whatsoever, all you gotta do is click on the Google Docs link on the top link of the description. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be going through all the different ways of making coins at the beginning of FC25. So we're going to be talking about how you can make coins on different budgets and sort of putting in different effort. So in today's video, we are going to be walking through and talking about again a few of the trading methods we did last year in reference to last year's videos. Now I did release a video about 2 days ago about how to go and start on the web app. And we'll be covering that very briefly. I'll probably go through it in about a minute, but I do have like a 10-15 minute video talking through all the trading methods, talking about all the different ways we're going to make coins. But because of the first time you guys are going to have access to FC25 being the web app, we are going to start on the web app. So how are you going to go and make coins on the web app? First thing you need to do is in the kit selection, you need to make sure you pick gold rare kits. Now, people would like to think, oh, but if I pick the PSG kit, if I pick the Man United kit, it'll sell on for a lot more. Not really at the beginning. No one's got coins. Because no one's got coins, you know, you just need to kind of get as many discard coins as you can. So what you can do is you can pick gold rare kits and badges because they discard for 500 each, which means you get 1.5k off the bat. And all you got to go and do is just make sure you select rare gold kits. Rare gold kits are normally just top 5 leagues, top 5 nations. So the next way we're going to go and make coins, again, none of this is trading, you guys will be happy to see, is by basically completing a lot of an objective. So there's an objective that basically every, if I move back a little bit more, there we go. There's an objective that, sorry, I've got to go a little bit forward, there we go. There's an objective that basically rewards you for buying and selling players. Now, you get yourself 1.5k because it's a transfer market objective, meaning they reward you very heavily with coins. So, you get 1.5k when you buy 25 players, you get 1.5k when you list 25 players, you get 1.5k when you buy 50 players, you get 1.5k when you list 100 players, and you get 1.5k when you buy 100 players. Meaning, you get 5 lots of 1.5k, and all you got to do is buy and sell 100 players. So in total, you get yourself 6.5k rewards. Well, you might say, well, you know, if you buy and sell 100 players, that can take absolutely ages, or you're going to lose loads of coins on tax. Well, kind of what I found out is because of the basic SBCs, a lot of people are buying rare bronze English strikers. So I was able to go and buy and sell 100 rare bronze English strikers in probably the best part of about half an hour to 45 minutes. Now, these cards would literally sell on instantly, and you could buy them instantly. Meaning, I managed to go and get myself that. Well, after tax, it was 5.5k, plus that 1.5k from the beginning of discarding the kits. I basically had 7k, and I've done 0 trading whatsoever. And trading, I'll be honest with you, on the web app was horrible, because no one had coins, no one was doing SBCs, there wasn't really much inflation, it was a bit ugly. But what you could have gone and done is make some really easy investments. So if you wanted to make easy investments with that 7k you got from doing 0 trading, all you want to do is basically pick up Premier League players and French players who are around about 2k and above. So Kanate on the web app was around about 2k. It says 3.7k here because this is 1 day later. So he went from 2k all the way up there to near 6k within 2 days. And then we have the Ultimate Edition released here. So what you would basically do is if you're not interested in trading, you'd use that 7k, invest it in French or Prem players 2k and above, and give or take they would double to triple before the Ultimate Edition. So here's it happening with Kunate. I believe I should have another example in Anthony in a second. There we go. We can see it happen with Anthony here, 2.8 to 3.8. And again, remember you can get cheaper, better prices here. And all you had to do was make sure that you go and sell these players before the Ultimate Edition. Because if you didn't go and sell them before the Ultimate Edition, then you can see they went down. So again, Joe Gomez, we can see he went here from 4.2k up to 6.7k. Raheem Sterling, we can see he went from 6k all the way there to 10.5k. And all you got to do is really look at these sort of Premier League and French players who are around about 2k and above. Now, but what if you're interested in making more coins? You know, what if you want to turn your 7k into, and what we managed to do is kind of turn it into around about 20k, you know, in about 24 hours. 20k in 24 hours was awful for the web app, but in previous years we'd get welcome battle packs, and we just didn't get welcome battle packs last year. So if we didn't get welcome battle packs, I'll cover that in a second. So the trading method that I predominantly did was bidding about 200 coins on any of the, basically anyone from a top 5 nation. So we are talking Spain, we're talking France, we're talking Germany, we're talking Italy, we're talking England, we're talking Brazil, and we're talking Argentina. The reason for that is Argentina and Brazil are always used for the beginning SBCs, and the top 5 nations have multiple leagues. For example, like England's got the Prem, the Championship, the League 1, League 2, and as a result, very heavily used for SBCs. Now, annoyingly, there weren't really people doing advanced SBCs. So in previous years, we'd have someone like Tagliafico, really expensive for advanced SBCs. We can see on the release, Tagliafico was around about 1.7k, and then he actually picked up really nicely. We didn't really see this happen last year because people just didn't have the coins for advanced SBCs because there were no welcome backpacks. You can see they kind of just dropped, whereas last time they were a lot more progressive. You know, the trends on Tagliafico last year were a lot nicer than the trends we saw on Tagliafico this year. And that just comes down to a lack of demand for advanced SBC players. So, yeah, what we have to basically do is we trade with silvers. Silvers are very rare. No one's opening silver packs because no one's getting welcome backpacks, but they are being used for the basic SBCs. And I can show you right here, me selling some on. Now, the silvers I pick up for around about 200 to 250 coins in bid, I then go and sell them for around about 300 coins to around about 500 coins and buy now. So all these guys would have been picked up for about 200 to 250, apart from this silver. Now, this is kind of how you trade on the web app. And Rodriguez I sold for 1.2k, but I probably would have paid about 600-700 coins for him. But why would I have paid 600-700 coins for Rodriguez, but then only paid 200-250 coins for these silvers? Well, basically, what I would have done, and again, this is going to be free in the guide, all whilst the web app's out, free in the guide, I believe, for the first 2 weeks of FIFA, is I basically create a bank of data on what certain silvers sell for. Now, like I said earlier, Footbin don't actually operate when only the web app's out. In the first, 24 hours, they weren't operating. So you didn't go and have Footbin to go and see what these guys were selling for. So basically, I had to make my own Footbin to learn what these cards sell for and then use that as a buy price. And how I would go and do this is I'd basically head onto the market. There we go, if I can go and load up my controller. I'd head onto the market, go something like Silver Argentina. And then what I'd do is I'd go through the positions one by one. There we go, we can go and search this in. And once I found a player that I thought might go and sell on, so let's say for example this guy, I'd go and add him to my watch list. And then what I'd do is maybe every 10-15 minutes, and I'd go to my watch list and see what's sold on. For example, if Costa went and sold on, then what I can go and do is, even though I haven't gone and flipped that Costa, I can now head over to this little spreadsheet I've made. I can now go Argentina, I can go silver rare right backs, and I can go and write that he's going to sold on for 1.3k. And by now knowing that he sells for 1.3k, what I kind of like to do is I like to kind of half that price. So I say, okay, now I'll go and pay up to 600 to 650 coins for him, because I'm confident I can sell him for 1.3k. And this is what I did last year for loads and loads of positions. So I got, for example, Brazilian rare silver left backs were selling for a K. What else we got? We got Spanish La Liga left mids are selling for 900 coins. And eventually what happens is you build up such a big bank of data that all you got to do is go through these positions one by one and either look for buy now deals or look for bid deals. And then you can go and flip the cards, just like how I flipped this silver Argentinian right back. And there we go. So that's kind of how you can trade on between the web app and the Ultimate Edition. Now, if we go and have ourselves, if we do go and get ourselves welcome backpacks, there'll be a lot more coins on the market, meaning you want to invest a lot earlier. And also it means it's a lot nicer for trading, because there's a lot more cards being listed on the market, meaning there potentially is going to be a lot more deals, there can be a lot more inflation, and we can go back to seeing cards like Tagliafico being good to trade with. So what would happen is this guy would fluctuate every day. Very early in the morning, he'd be very low. He'd be very low because there's just a lack of people on FIFA, and yet there's probably Americans undercutting. Then getting closer to 6 PM, this card would rise, because what would happen is more people would log on to FIFA closer to 6 PM. It's just how it works. 3 PM to 6 PM is the peak demand of people playing FIFA. She'd be able to go and buy him in the morning, let's say for, in this situation, let's say 900 coins. And by the time he got to around about 3 PM to 6 PM, he'd be 2k. Because the demand and the amount of people playing FIFA is a lot more. So basically what you could do is find something he's used for an advanced SBCs, pick them up every morning, and then go and sell them every day before 6 PM. And then obviously with 6 PM, you might get supply from generic SBCs, marquee matchups and so on, which is why you'd want to go and sell them before. There's also another method called SBC Solution Trading. Now I don't actually cover this too much, but I know it's a method people do. So SBC Solution Trading is basically finding SBCs that are heavily completed. And at the beginning we know a lot of people are doing the hybrid leagues, the hybrid nations, because everyone loves an untradable 45, 50k, 25k pack and so on. So everyone's doing these SBCs. And a lot of people go to Footbin. If you guys don't know what Footbin is, it's basically a database with what I was using to show you all those prices. It's what people use to complete SBCs. And what people do is they'll go complete a challenge, and then they'll go and pick, one of the cheapest. So they'll pick this solution, for example. Now I'm going to actually go and pick a different SBC because I don't think that will work too well in my favour. We're going to use this one, the whole 9 yards. So we're going to pick this SBC right here. And what they'll do is they'll go and, find this as the cheapest SBC, and then they'll go and complete it. But what would end up happening is because there aren't that many cards on the market, some of these non-rares, especially high-rated non-rares, because a lot of people discard non-rares, high-rated non-rares are hard to pack, meaning high-rated non-rares are actually very, very rare. So you'd have something like Zubimendi, who because of how high-rated he is, he would maybe only, let's say, have 20, 30 cards on the market. But if we can compare it to someone like Alex Moreno, loads of people are going to be keeping him, loads of people are going to be listing him, there's probably like 1,000 on the market. But Zubimendi, there's probably like 30, 40. Well, let's say everyone jumps on and does this SBC. If 20 people do this SBC, we said earlier there's 1,000 Morenos on the market. You're not going to miss 20 being bought. With Zubimendi, if there's only 30 on the market and 20 are being bought, his supply is now so low and his card becomes very expensive. Now, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to find any graphs where he does... I mean, I can show you graphs like this where he just, does some sort of freak peaks. And that's just because he's a high non-rare. I don't think I'll be able to find it too early on. No. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff happens, basically. So what you can do is you can basically scout these solutions, just sit on them, refresh them every 10 minutes, see what the top one is, see who the high-rated non-rares are, or sometimes even a silver will pop into these, and silvers are even rarer than high-rated non-rares. And then what you'll do is, if the non-rare is 400, you're going to go and buy them, and then you're going to go and track them rising. Because this isn't always going to be the cheapest solution, what you need to do is sit on the market and just keep on tracking the card. So is the card going up in price? If the card's going up in price, brilliant. It's probably not a bad time to sell. Or you just want to wait for it to stop rising. If the card is plateauing out, so it's stopped rising, you want to sell it. If the card is dropping, you want to definitely make sure you're selling it. So basically, it's a bit of a pump and dump, but you're not the one, you're kind of just getting in the pump and dump very early, and then selling to people who are, doing this SBC and being a bit lazy. And that's kind of the second way how you could make coins in the web app, but that does depend on there being welcome backpacks being tradable and there kind of being more coins in the web app. If not, this method does work very, very nicely once, once people are back on the console. I believe that kind of wraps up the web app trading. We're now going to talk a little bit about when you jump on the game and load up the Ultimate Edition. If I can go and find a charger. So the reason we're going to be talking about loading up the Ultimate Edition is if you guys do have the Ultimate Edition, you are going to have yourself 4.6k FIFA points. And the relevance of you guys having 4.6k FIFA points is it gives you a lot more money to trade with. But at the same time, it gives you a lot more money to invest with. So what is the rule of thumb when investing? So again, I covered this in a video yesterday, but from your 4.6k FIFA points in the Ultimate Edition, you should get yourself around about 90 to 100k back. Now, you don't want that 90 to 100k to just sit there because you can make that money work for you. You can invest it. But what sort of cards are you going to invest in? Now, you're going to look to invest in Premier League players and French players. But make sure these players are above 30k. The reason you need to make sure these players are above 30k is because they're above 30k, it shows there is a lot more demand than there is supply. But you're not going to go and buy cheap meta cards like Van der Ven because if they're under 30k, especially 20k, 10k, it shows that their supply is arguably higher than their demand. Because you can see Van der Ven right here. On the Ultimate Edition release, he was 21k. He didn't go up any more than that. The reason he didn't go up any more than that is because he was being packed as much as he was being demanded. But if we go and look at a more expensive card like Saliba, we can see because Saliba was 46k, and again, if you open those 4.6k FIFA points at the beginning, you get 90k, you could go and buy yourself a Saliba for around about 47k. Well, if you had to hold on to him to just before the Ultimate Edition, he goes all the way up there to 67k. And then with the Ultimate Edition, there's lots more packs being opened, and he goes back down again. So this would be the equivalent of you opening your packs on the 20th, and then selling the cards on the 26th. With the Standard Edition coming on the 27th. And I can do the exact same example with Gakpo. Gakpo, another card under 30k, especially under 20k. Ultimate Edition's here, he doesn't rise anymore, he just drops. But if we go and grab Diaby, for example, Ultimate Edition, you can buy him at 50k. And again, 50k is not an unrealistic amount of coins to go and have. Because again, you get about 90k back from the packs. He goes from 49k all the way up there to 73k. Again, peaks the day, 2 days before or the day before the Ultimate Edition. And then he goes and crashes there. So a little bit of investing advice. Now, how are we going to go and trade? Now, how we're going to go and trade when the Ultimate Edition is out is we're going to be doing shadow trading. Shadow trading is a absolute staple of mine. As I said, I literally have been doing this method for about 10 years. It is a very, very good method. It's something I heavily stand by. And yeah, really, really good. And just like how I was showing you earlier that I had a spreadsheet with all the silver players, which again is going to be free, top link in the description, I have the exact same thing with the shadow players. If I can go and find it, shadow and hunter, there we go. So you can see right here, I've got myself, and again this is free on the trading guide, I've got myself a list of players, what they sell for with a shadow. For example, at the beginning, we've got Prem, Jeffrey Schlupp, with a shadow, we're selling at 2.2k. So you'd want to go and pick them up for like 1.2k. We've got Martinez, with a shadow, we're selling at 3k. We've got Gvardiol, with a shadow, we're selling at 2.8k. We've got Reece James, with a shadow, selling at 2.1k. Given this data is probably about a month after the release, but this just shows how well this method works. This method generally works all the way through to Team of the Season. So this is a method that you can master early on. Brilliant. So how do you do this method? Well, along with ideally the guide, you don't need the trading guide. You know, as I say, the trading guide is a sub perk after the first month, so you don't have to fully rely on it. What you want to do is you want to set up a filter. The filter you are going to go and set up is going to be, there's a few different filters. We're going to go gold rare, we're then going to go to shadow, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put maximum bid being 2k. You then want to go and put your maximum buy now to 9.9k, because it will help you get to the 9th minute. Now why do we add this filter in? So if I've got a maximum bid of 2k, it means everything with a buy now 2k and under is going to pop up. It also means that anything that is more expensive than 2k with a open bid will also show up. Now, if you're in a hurry to sell cards for cheap, what do? You sell it for the cheapest on the market, and then what you do is sometimes you put the bid down to 150, so you're going to get the coins one way or the other. Well, by putting in this filter, we are going to go and get basically those sort of players. Because the idea is the players will be worth more than 2k, but the bid is going to be worth less than 2k. So right now, because we're at the end of FIFA, sadly, there's nothing on the market, so I'm just going to have to probably increase it a little bit for the sake of it. So what we'd be doing is we'd be looking to buy, We're looking to buy players who are no more than 1k more with a shadow than they are without a shadow. So, for example, if this was the beginning of FIFA, and we found Eder Militao, we'd head over to Footbin, type in Eder Militao, and we'd see that Eder Militao is apparently 4.2k. So if Eder Militao is 4.2k, because shadow cards are worth around about 3-4k at the beginning, we'll pay 1k more for him. So in theory, I'd pay up to 5.2k for this Militao, which means this one right here would be a really good deal. And then the idea is that we would then go and search the market and sell him for about the 2nd or 3rd cheapest Eder Militao on the market. So again, we picked up our Eder Militao there. Now what we do is we'd go gold rare, we'd go shadow, we'd have a little look on the market. Again, we are literally the last month of FIFA, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to look. So they're both up for 4.8k, so if I wanted, I could go and listen for 4.7k for them to be the cheapest on the market. Or what I could say is do you know what? I think a lot of people are going to be demanding Eder Militao. So what I could do is I could sell him for the 3rd cheapest. So maybe rather than 4.8k, I'd say, do you know what? I'll either let both these expire, and then mine will be the cheapest on the market, or hopefully these two will get bought up, and then mine will be the cheapest on the market. And I'd go and list them up for about 6.5k. So that's basically how this method would work. Now what I personally do is when I do go and sell these cards, I then go and add them to the guide. So if I did go and sell Eder Militao for 6.5k, I'd then head here, I'd go and write in Eder Militao, Eder.m, and I'd go centre back, and I'd go 6.5k. And the idea about this is I am basically creating my own footbin for what players have sold for with a shadow. Obviously footbin just tells you what the players have sold for, but because shadows are worth 3-4k more, they add good value. And because they add good value, they make the players worth more. But people don't know how much more they're worth, which is again why I create my own database, and why I recommend obviously after you buy these players, do have a little look on the market and you want to sell for the 2nd or 3rd. You can sell for the cheapest if you gain significant profit, but a lot of times you can kind of double your profit in the players if you just go and sell for the 2nd and 3rd, and just kind of like basically have them selling on for lazy buyers. And I'd say that is about that. Actually, no, we do have some other things to go and cover. We're going to talk about investing in Team of the Week 1, because this is a really early investment you can go and do. Team of the Week 1, lovely. The players we are looking to buy is basically anything that's 30k and under. Buying discard Team of the Week didn't rise whatsoever. So we look at the more expensive ones. We've got ourselves Mo Salah, obviously very, very expensive. We've got Krachawi, who was only 100. And we've got ourselves Lamptey, who was only 37. And again, the reason I talk about this is this was also something you could do on the release of the game. So, the cheapest point on these cards was the 22nd, was the 22nd, and was the 22nd. Now, this is actually one day before Ultimate Edition, but if we look at the 23rd, there's still really good profit in that. So again, we look at the 23rd there, still really cheap compared to what she rose. And we look at Salah 23rd, still really cheap from what they rose. So if you want to go and buy these Team of the Week ones, you're basically looking at picking these up on the release of the Ultimate Edition, which again is going to be the 20th, because this was the release of the Ultimate Edition last year. And we can see that if you were to go and buy Salah on the release of the Ultimate Edition when he was 450k, he went up to 700k. Again, that's probably quite unrealistic. But if you have 100k, which is a lot more realistic, you could go and get Krachari for 130, and she went up there to 230. We look at Lamptey, could have gone and got in for 46, and it went all the way up there to 73. Now, regarding the sell time for these were on Tuesday. The sell time for Salah was on Tuesday, and the sell time for Lamptey was on Tuesday. But what was the sell time on Tuesday if these Team Week ones went out of packs on the Wednesday? Surely if something goes out of packs, it gets rarer and goes up. No, not necessarily. Because sometimes what happens is there are more people anticipating a card going up than actually demand the card. Which means basically there's artificial inflation. And because they've kind of got the artificial inflation wrong, it means basically people all bought the card. They're like, go on then, I've invested in them, go up. And then he went down and they were like, oh, why is he going down? And the reality is anyone who wanted a Salah actually bought him before he went out of packs, which meant he went down in price. The same for Krachari. You know, people bought her, she was like, oh, French left back, everyone's going to go and buy her. And then you got to Wednesday and she went out of packs, and then no one was buying her because anyone who wanted her previously, and then she went down in price. And I don't think so much the same with Lamptey, but he kind of plateaued out here, where he didn't really, I mean, he went down like 2k. So, yeah, we can see right there that buying Team of the Week ones was a really good investment, on the Ultimate Edition, but holding on to them long term just really wasn't a play. And again, some people are, what if I go and buy Team Week ones for SBCs? Well, let me go and grab a really plebby Team Week one. There you go. Tabakic. And if by magic he's going to go and fit my agenda, and this card probably didn't rise for about a month. Is that a month? So there you go, 22nd, didn't rise all the way through to the 10th of next month. So you could have held on to him for 3 weeks, and even after 3 weeks, he only went up, what, 700 coins, which after tax means you make about 100 coins profit. Buying discard Team of the Weeks really isn't a play. I mean, the first time we saw them rise significantly was, I guess you could say, beginning of November. So we're talking end of September to the end of October, and you know, we're talking about 5-6 weeks, and then they rose. I believe that probably would have been the introduction of Icon and Hero SBCs. Now, in the same breath of Team of the Week 1, we're going to talk about Team of the Week 2. Because, like I was saying, you know, people buying Team Week 1s, expecting them to do really well out of packs. Well, another trend is that people go and buy golds before they get Team of the Weeks. So, for example, this was Team Week 2. So we have players like Cancelo, who was anticipated to get Team of the Week. I believe he got a goal, an assist, and a clean sheet. So people anticipated him getting a Team of the Week. So he would have gone and played on the weekend. So before the weekend, he was 42k. He then would have played well on the weekend and went up to 42k, up to 50k. He went out of packs, and he didn't actually rise when he went out of packs because more people bought him than actually wanted him. But this right here is just to show you guys that if someone does play well, there is money on them rising, but just make sure to sell them before they actually go out of packs, because a lot of the time they'll get, you know, more hyped up. Kante probably got himself a goal and assist on the weekend. You can see the weekend here. Went from about 18k to 20k. Proceeded to go up to about 23k. Then went out of packs. And again, he even got a Team of the Week, but he just went down in price because he was overinvested. And we can see the same here with Son. Son probably got himself a goal, a hat-trick or something like that. God knows what Son's up to. On the weekend, you can see went here from 111 to 120. Peaked up at 138. But then the goal card, again, even though it went out of packs, still went down. Because a lot of time, again, people are over-anticipating sort of the investments. And again, there's plenty of other trends, but we will go and cover them in later videos. I'll also probably cover Team Week 1 investing and Team Week 2 investing maybe in a different video, but we'll see. We'll see how much time we have between now and the release of FIFA. But that has been that. Any questions you guys do have, do make sure to drop them down below, or any sort of videos or topics you'd like me to cover, do feel free to drop them down below. Thank you very, very much for the insane support going into FC 25 so far. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.